right. Hey, Rascal. It's coming, man. It's coming. Can you hear me? Sound check, sound check.
Welcome back to Gamescape 3D. Today we're going to do a speed paint of one of our little peasant houses to show how easy these things are to paint. Here's the peasant house I have to paint today. It has been primered.
Hey,
black.
Coco. Courtney, I sent you a message if you can play next Saturday. I'm starting to feel up to it. Let me know.
3 minutes into
I put it in
so far.
Discord.
We got the base, we got the roof.
Let me just do this now. I remember. And
smaller components. I have a flat board
that's
for
in
the
addition to
wall.
Ed's game. Yeah, it's coming, man. I get the catheter out tomorrow.
A little.
So, oh, you did? Okay, I haven't looked. I'm sorry.
Window parts there.
Korgs.
And I have a hood for the flue up on the roof.
No, that was for the Ed game. For that's Ed a week from Thursday. No, next Saturday.
Lastly,
next Saturday, 10 to 2. And then I'll build the group after that.
On the front with
Yep.
a filament hinge.
Yeah, you said yes to that. I'm just looking at the Saturday game.
In terms of prepping the models, sometimes
Which should
these
be
little
before that.
holes where
The Ed game, you're definitely in.
The filament's supposed to run through. You can get clogged
All right,
up
good.
on your resin doors.
All right,
Sometimes
awesome.
the resin will just settle.
Awesome.
In there
Got you
when
for
it's
both
washing
then. That
down,
is
kinda
great.
hardened.
Awesome. I got you and
doors,
Korg at minimum, so that gives me a lot of options.
a little off.
That way, tomorrow I can work on more of the cast. Tim isn't 100% sure yet, but we're good with that. Just with that alone, we can go with a multitude of directions, so we're good.
Those holes.
So I'm not gonna have a game Thursday night, obviously, because
So
of
if I have a door there, I might just
because of the Thanksgiving. Jeez, my God. Yeah, Rad School. Yes, that is awesome. So hopefully Anna is. I sent her messages and said multiple times we were on a half hour early because we're finishing a half hour early tonight, but we'll figure it out.
So we got those holes cleaned out. Should be plenty of room now for our filament.
Oh, I forgot to download something. Holy. Let me go do that.
All right, the first thing I'm going to be doing is applying brown onto the timber frames. And I'm going to use a pretty good sized brush. I don't care about getting brown everywhere for this first part. In fact, it's preferred. So there's my brown
good.
again.
There you go.
Kind
Hope you're all doing well.
Lighter side of a mid-tone. Now I don't want to use so much brown that I'm filling in the details, of course. And if some of the black primer comes through, that's all the better. You definitely don't want to waste your time creating an even coat around this. It'll actually
Talking
take
to
away
myself
from
a lot,
it in
everyone.
the end, and it's kind of just a waste of time. You can go do something else. Do make sure you kind of hit the tops and the bottoms.
Nice, what's up, man?
Okay. Don't just paint the face of these things, because you're not going to be coming back later to hit these sides.
I think we're good.
This is kind of the last time they should be getting painted, unless you absolutely have to come back in to do a little touch up. Okay. See, I'm just kind of going at it.
All right.
No special care being taken. Keep the wood color off of the plaster parts.
Oh my gosh, you got a hype train already? Holy jeez.
Apply this wood color to the plaster parts with any particular intention.
Hype it up.
Oh,
Wayne, wow, thanks,
let
man.
some of those black timber lines come through. You know, kind of dry brush it.
Oh, come on, early. Stronghold's coming in. Yeah, Lucidius, you seem to be not lucky when it comes to that. Hey, Blue Joy. All right, here comes Stronghold. What's up, guys and gals? Hope you had a great stream, and thanks for holding out there. Get your shout out here. Boom! Oh, weirdo. That was nice. Thank you all. Yep, Stronghold. So, Tim, I got Korg and Coco for Saturday. I know it's a holiday weekend, so don't. Hey, Bill. Thanks for stopping by today too. I know it's not the easiest thing to do. Just let me know, because that'll be the direction. If I go higher level characters, if I go nuclear meat, or if I go bone baddies, it'll just depend on those options for Saturday. So, love you all, Stronghold. Thank you. So we're starting a half hour early. I had to negotiate this, negotiate it with the wife. So, yeah. I'll come live. I'm missing Anna, so let me send her a message. Hey, what's up, Puff? It's awesome. Thank you so very much. Yeah, I guess you could say I'm healing pretty well. Maybe I'll do my soapbox early. How's that sound? I have a soapbox, a J gripe. It has nothing to do with any of you. But maybe we'll do the J gripe first here. So, here. What time is it? All right. So we're 7 minutes early for. You want to hear that, Naz? We're 7 minutes early. Let me just come on and set up the other screen. See, look, Anna's not on yet, so it's like, let me fix this. Let me go to the secondary screen here. So, oh, there's nothing up on here, but I need to bring something up. So, hello, everyone. Oh, come on, Jeremy. You've probably seen this. We're going to Twitter, hell. We're going to go to Twitter. We're going to go to Twitter for this. And then we're going to go on Grums. That's probably not the right one. Is it UMMZ? Yeah, it is. Okay. All right. Where is it? Oh, look, see, there's all such good stuff here. Someone had to start. And he posts a lot. It was only yesterday or the day before. There it is. All right. So, yeah, exactly. It's just so, and then we have those that are going to take advantage of it. That's why I'm talking, as I want to talk about the ones that got to go and take advantage and stow the fire, and there's no need in this case to do this. So let me set this up here, and all right, there we go. Here, should I move that? I'll move that. No, it's behind it, so I'm not gonna. You just have to deal with no Anna here. And I may have other guests. If Mysterious Tim may come on tonight, maybe some others. And thanks for the hype train. I really appreciate it. Yeah, their posts were decent on it, Lando. But yeah, it's just that's part of it, which is I thought was funny and cool. I even sent him a message. I said it's just a pipe dream, but here comes Anna. Look at this. All right. It's a pipe dream and a half, but we could still. By the way, I'll be getting up and down again too. It comes out tomorrow. We're almost there. Hey, Anna.
Hello.
Yeah, Strong rated into us, so I came on a little early. Plus, I got to end the stream early tonight, so this works perfectly. So 6:30 start. We're still before that. We already had a hype train. So what's up, Keith? Yeah. So how are you?
Oh, good.
Good. I'm going to talk about the Elon Musk post.
Oh, okay. I never realized that Elon Musk. I never thought he would play D&D, and much less.
Oh yeah. So, Grooms, who gets into a lot of stuff, he doesn't know anything about our community, but he knows about D&D in general. Watson Hasbro just released a new Player's Handbook and Dungeon Master's Guide, as well as the 40th anniversary making of D&D book, whose forward slams the original creators and calls them misogynist and all this stuff, and he links the resources in it. I don't care. You know what I mean? But there's a lot of posts. One from Elon Musk on this, who responds, nobody gets to trash Gary Gygax and the geniuses who created Dungeons and Dragons. What the F is wrong with Hasbro and WotC? May they burn in hell. That is not a parody account. That's actually Elon Musk.
I'm just amazed that he has time. I thought he was busy with politics to go down to our. He must be. I never thought he would be that desperate for attention.
I don't know, but maybe he loves D&D.
Since he has the world's attention and realize that now D&D is on the world stage, meaning The Economist writes about it once every month or so, and even Elon Musk, couple of weeks after the election, when he's the most talked about person on Earth, number 2, then he managed to come down and talk about our little turf of the world, so to speak. I'm just amazed.
He's like a Diablo 4 Grandmaster or something, right? Whatever level they have that. And Keith, it's going okay. I'll be standing and sitting a little bit between this tonight. Yeah. Kath are out tomorrow morning, then we'll see where we go from there. But I plan on streaming Wednesday, Saturday morning, Sunday night next week. We got a big show for Wednesday already planned. So hey, Rob. So there's a ton of posts on this. You can imagine the tons of posts that come up. Rob Kuntz gets involved in posts, of course, because he has to.
This has been around, meaning the book came out, what was it, like 9 months ago?
I know, but Elon, I understand that. But Grooms just brings it up, and then Rob goes, this isn't like this. He called it like a holy war or something. I don't know. But my point is, then the geniuses of Clownfish and our favorite other YouTube streamer, I'm being facetious there, can't help themselves but have to go at this thing big time. Whatever. Well, it's a nothing burger. This is a nothing burger.
I was going to say, grow some skin.
Exactly. That's exactly right.
If you even pretend to be in big politics and you get upset over this, oh, come on. I'm not impressed.
Right.
Meaning Elon Musk even pretends for a day that he wants to be playing with the big boys, and he gets upset over Wizard of the Coast. Perhaps some... Welcome to the Big Boys Club, Elon.
I know. I thought it was amusing. I even responded because he was talking about Gary.
Ridiculous.
I responded back to him and said, "Hey, I have a project with Luke's son right now. I mean, Gary's son, Luke. So hey, it's a pipe dream. Reach out to me if you want to. If you need a staff to work at Hasbro." I was kind of being facetious, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah,
it's kind of funny, and
it is.
And I can say, because meaning he's the guy that criticized people like me, want me basically to send me to camps or somewhere like that, and I can take that. But when someone criticizes Gary Gygax, he goes ballistic and goes completely.
Yeah, I thought it was funny.
Exactly, that's what I thought too. Meaning he seems to be craving. But to me, it seems like he would do anything to boost whatever post on X to go. Just he's desperate to seek attention on the platform because he knows this drives traffic. That's my guess.
It's possible, but in this case,
it's this
has been going on in other posts.
Well, this
once before, and
this guy has gone on for 6 months. Yeah,
this guy is he's an outsider to the community. One of those commentators.
Well, they are the people that loves to shit post on things, and if they get to something that drive attention, meaning that's how modern media.
And they're all, by the way, all of them are going after Ben Riggs too. They're going after him hard too. Really hard.
Well, that's the thing. But that's the thing. That's the other thing in today's world. When all you do is to find the sources and you publish the facts from back in the day, people go complete crazy. And that's basically what Ben Riggs and John Peterson did. They just published the stuff from back in the day and said, these are the documents from back in the day. And that's everything that is in the book. And those are facts, and say what you want about him. and
Yeah,
they are doing real research.
There. So you got those that all they want to do is swing up controversy. I say it's a nothing. Hey, John, it's a nothing burger. It was funny and entertaining. That's the way I looked at it.
Tells us time. The person who brings up some truth from old age back in the day gets crucified, and either from the left or the right. So I must, in this sense, I must give there's criticism both on the left and the right in this case. And in this case is the right wingers that go crazy. Some other time is the lefty that goes crazy and try to tell everybody to go.
Yeah. Now, and you all know I love Rob Coons for his content and all, but he is the poster boy for the crusade, the figurehead.
Well, he needs to grow some skin in this too. Meaning, come on, you have to just because someone criticizes you or something you hold dear.
I agree.
You just have to, and yeah.
Well, I wanted to bring it up because I found it really amusing.
To me, it's both entertaining and saddening at the same time.
And I don't find it saddening, Anna, like you do. I know, but I find it entertaining in this case, just because he's a gamer and he must love D&D. And that's a good thing to know.
Well, Elon is kind of, it's almost amazing that now we know that he knows a little bit about D&D.
Yeah, that was the cool thing. I thought that was what I took out. That's all I need to take out of it.
Yeah, yeah, me too. Now we have Elon.
Rob, I agree. Rob is turning into the old man yelling at clouds. I agree.
Oh yeah,
that's why I'm a little hesitant about a future show. It'll be with certain conditions, but we'll see down the road if that happens. So, but all right. So tonight, this I think is a really cool topic. Did you ever? And there's certain publications that have a knack for this, and that is, all right. I got a little tidbit of published source. Hey, Mythical. Yeah, I'll do it, John. That's how I got Todd. I became friends with Todd Stashwick. I invited him to a game with Ed Greenwood. I was talking to him on Twitter, direct message him. That's how we met Todd. Just out of the blue. There are certain publications. I noticed some of them are from authors that like to put the sidebar, the side quest in, right? And from that you get ideas, So for little tidbits of published source, which one? I not the one you. I don't even want to go there with that. I'm not giving anyone any extra shrill or purpose there. I did just show. I just showed the post that was on our Cannon Fire Discord, but it's all good. Let's be positive here in the world. There's not enough time for me to worry about. That's what I'm saying is people are taking it too much, Mac. But we got some good stuff coming up, and that's the great thing.
The worry about someone quoting Gary Gygax or Musk's opinions about that is very low on my worry list.
But like I said, it was high on entertainment.
Yeah, exactly. But it was very interesting to see that we got it mentioned in those high circles.
Yeah.
Meaning D&D has now made it into cultural mainstream.
Absolutely.
For good and bad. So we can't hide anymore, so to speak. But on the other hand, we get the attention. So
we did. And let me see here. Let me just hit that up there. All right, so we got classic D&D reprint giveaway tonight. Please all feel free to. So here comes GaryCon live too. Awesome, perfect timing.
Great. Yeah.
Perfect timing. In how come it didn't show the raid there? There it goes. I love that raid one where they're all pulling out their bows, lining up to fire from Legends of the Seeker. So Garner, hopefully you're doing. Garner, I'm doing fine. I get the Cather out tomorrow, and then I'll talk to you. But I appreciate it. I know you've been through some things. Thank you so very much. Thank you, GaryCon Live. We are taking published source tidbits. It could be a full story tidbits, turning it into your own content for your game. So I think it's something that some DMs, like I know, and you can agree or disagree on this, but I think you'll agree with me. There are a lot of, I want to say lesser known people in the community. They always are posting or saying, I'm just worried I'm going to mess something up. Someone's going to get mad at me. Right. You know what I mean? That's why I don't want to venture here. I've always said that's the wrong that's the wrong answer
Yeah,
way to look
but
about it. What are your
I can
thoughts?
totally understand that,
Yeah,
because the GREYHAWK community, like any fan community, or like tight knit community, when we discuss something and so on, you can quite easily kind of try to brag about each other's expertise on something, and it's almost a little bit like a competition, like, oh, see my campaign, I've taken all these footnotes, and I've taken everything
yeah,
into account and whatever. So I can, because I get that sense sometimes, like, damn, I'm going to dig in here now. I need to read everything, I need to study everything, cover all my bases and stuff, because the community can at times be tough, so to speak.
yeah,
And
absolutely.
so I totally get that, because that's the yeah, I feel the pressure quite often. But on the other hand, now I've been at it so long that I know I've screwed up enough that and I think that's the other part of it. Allow yourself to screw up. This is not real, meaning it's not world politics here. We're not dealing with nukes or the world economy or anything serious. This is a game. The world doesn't exist. We're here to have fun. So keep that in mind, meaning screw up here and forget a detail. It's not the end of the world. It's not like forgetting the checklist
Exactly.
before an operation or take off with an airplane or anything like that, where you're not allowed to fail. But here it's gaming, it's fun. The worst thing that can happen is that it will become an awkward situation at the game table, or you publish on a blog or something and you get 25 comments saying that you forgot to read this, you dummy, or something, and why the heck didn't you understood that thing wrong. That's the worst thing that can happen. And
Absolutely.
yeah, so remember that. And the other thing, as an extension of that, is that often the criticism I get from my ideas and maps and content is sometimes the best inspiration. So meaning, when I do the map, I sometimes I just push things out there that are half baked, because people who criticize it are my best sources. They tell me what I should think about. So embrace criticism too. It takes a little bit of a skin, so to speak. So you need thicker skin than Elon Musk to do it, but all of us can have it, so to speak. So
That's funny.
yeah. So it's kind of, you can use criticism, if yeah, somehow try and make it into a useful tool for you, so to speak. That's important. So it's not big politics, it's not economics. People's lives don't depend on this. So
Agreed.
so have fun with it. Yeah.
Agreed, Pat 66. But note this, all right? If there, oh, hey, Chris, thank you. If there's anyone who's should get blasted, it's me, because in 1980 I immediately divested or divulged or went off in a different direction from the original folio,
Yep.
right? I mean, it's just I have that the Prince of Ulick's lawful neutral shithead, really, fighter thief, and he's not a good guy, and maybe that's the
Yep.
case. But I have a lot of things that I changed back then. I had a big little war between the Sea Princes and Keeland.
Yep.
Stuff that doesn't exist, and it hasn't hurt me at all. So it's your game. So I have a GREYHAWK question. I have a dozen skeleton minis with
Oh,
paint. I want to paint some on heraldry. Which entity in GREYHAWK would have a skeleton group? A baddie? So are they troops that were killed and then they raised with the same armor and heraldry on, or are they someone's mark?
no, no, no. I have the perfect one. The Rinloru. Rinloru is run by the city of Rinloru is run by a bunch of Nerul priests who had a cult. They basically revived the whole city as undead. That's
Oh,
one
that's cool.
possibility. Yeah, if you want to go with the theme, I think they were
Sure.
taken care of late in so that's one way you can go with. I use is a sure one. You can they will he will definitely use undead troops and stuff.
History Prof. It's probably on the right side of the map. I can't help you be on the spelling, but Anna probably
Oh,
can.
hang on a second. I can spell. Yep.
If you want to go more local to GREYHAWK or whatever, there's a ton of them. Yeah, I would do it the other way around. I would do it. It's a unit of troops or GREYHAWK militia, Harby, High Folk Militia, and then and then they were all killed, and then they turned them as skeletons. They just kept on their same armor.
Yeah.
That's what I would
Yeah.
do.
I was going to say that's the other thing is that because they will give the skeletons the leftover stuff, the enemy armor, whatever. So so Iusian skeletons might use shields from any
funny,
foe
Bill.
or whatever. Yeah.
Bill, that's not funny, man.
I think that's great, Bill. Yeah.
Wow. The other Bill is nose pickings coming out on that. I got to give you a ton of knows on that. That was funny though. I'll give you that. So, Bill stopped today. Wait till you see the stuff that he brought for use. I'm going to a week from Thursday, and we'll talk about that with Ed on. So it's the December 5th, the 3-year partner anniversary stream. Got a great new piece we're going to use for that. So, but yeah, Winchester family shtick. Yeah. So here's my example. I've done it a couple times, but I'm going to show you from start to finish, kind of where we went with this. So this is the first one, and then we're going to take others, and maybe some that Anna has, some that I have, some that we both use, and go a different direction. So play a strict adherence to GREYHAWK Lord Canon. Bob, I can't. All right. There is the big picture, and then there's the everyday adventuring picture. So, in my game, the GREYHAWK Wars went slightly different. Certain people lived and died slightly different. Nothing happened for me in Living GREYHAWK. We didn't play it. I didn't take any of the lore from Living GREYHAWK, with the exception of Expeditions to Ruins of GREYHAWK, and implemented that in. Rigby's death, things like that. So the answer is the big picture stuff I use, but the small that's funny. I utilize. There you go. Small stuff is pertinent to my campaign. Make sense? So I'm not going to go to the following and go, GREYHAWK Wars I attempted to take over Shieldlanders, did, and then 3 days later the Shieldlanders defeated them and knocked them back. I'm not going to have that happen. So, but that's what we'll do. Hey, Chad. Hope you had a nice stream over there on. Oh my God, Gary Con live. You're just on. So, all right, let's talk about Varna Fane. One of my favorites, right, Bill? So this is page 58. This is book 2 of From the Ashes. This is GREYHAWK Adventures, book 2, the campaign book. There are a ton in here. We're going to go over a couple, because one thing that our favorite writer for these books, right, Carl Sargent, is good at is threads, is giving you a thread for a future idea. All these in here are all that. So here's mine. Varna Fane, lying within the Welkwood. This was a treehouse settlement of some 40 rare GREYHAWK elves until recently. The elves probably could have fought off the humanoids that attacked them, but for one thing, they were still recovering from a savage assault by a large band of Ketch. I love Ketch. Ketch are so awful. The wily humanoids struck so swiftly after the elves were overwhelmed. Honors in the humanoid attack went to an elite phalanx of forest bugbears. The bugbears now hold pride of place in the mixed bugbear goblin orc group of some 125 humanoids. Centuries past, the GREYHAWK had stumbled upon the overgrown entrance to an ancient dwarven warren. Dwarves, cool, right? So this is a neat little connection. And here it is. Inside the ruins, they walked revolted and disgusted past the remains of scores of long-dead dwarves. No back history. They found a vast collection of battle axes, no fewer than 5. Each is +3, bearing dwarven runes +5 in the hands of dwarves. The GREYHAWK took the axes, but not used them, fearing the wrath of a dwarven power. The bugbears have no such fear, and with this, they were spread out. So, of course, if the dwarven axes were recovered and returned to the rightful owners, descendants of the original dwarves now living in Ulick, there's my connection, Prince of Ulick and his crew, the rewards would be great indeed. So, you might say, okay, that's a great story. Well, I thought it was when this came out, and I'm like, I got to develop this up. So what do? We're going to go to a Earth Journal magazine. I thought there it is. We're going to go to Earth Journal 32. Okay. Spring, March 2020. So over 4 years ago, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
This came out really right at GaryCon 2020, but that was a virtual.
Oh, yes, exactly. That was the, yeah.
So in this, look, a Death Knight article by Gary Julian. Jason Zavoda has something in this about Appendix N. Let's see who else we have in this one. We have Amy Crittenden, Kit, Joe Block, Jason Zavoda, Gary Julian, David Leonard, GREYHAWK Mike, Oranier, Aaron Froke, myself, and there you go in this article. Flex, yes, Mike Flex. Mike, if you're bored and want to hop on and chat, you are more than welcome to tonight.
Yeah, please.
Yes, yeah, if you want to come on, you are more than welcome to. I know you're missing Wednesdays a lot. Here we go here. All right, so I'm going to go. Look, an article. Legendary Axes of Varnafane, page 43. So let's go down to the end of this. And all right. So I talk about this and do a synopsis of these axes. This is one of those long-term campaign plot arcs in my game that we go over. There are 5 axes. 2 have not been located, and 3 have. I think I got that right. Yeah, 1, 2, 3, or no, I'm sorry. There are 6 axes and 4 have been found. There's 2 not found yet. Oh my god, always forget the Servant of Clangeddon, Bill. Yeah, so there's background story. Here's the map. It's on Anna's map where Varnafane is. Look at that, right near Narwhal and the Headhunters, right near Lord Mastrine. I guarantee Mastrine's going to come up in this discussion tonight, Anna. I tell the story in here, and read this at your leisure, of what has happened and how these have been acquired. Eventually, I note adventures. This has been a long-term plot arc in my game for a long time, going all the way back to adventure number 94. So what's that? That's even before this article came out. I think I brought up the Servant of Clangeddon and realized it was one of them. Yep. Those are the greater, there can be you're absolutely right, Bill. There can be lots of weapons beyond these 6 weapons. So, yep. So read the story at your leisure. It talks about, here's Bladestorm. She's named in From the Ashes, a part of my campaign. She's in here. So here's Bill's character, Trevin Nim, who's on right now, and Brolin NPC. So they work with the Narwhal Headhunters. So, and we talk about adventure number 337 in my game. So we're given background on how these are starting to be recovered in the setting, and just it happens over the course of what, Bill? 25 years. I'm trying to think. From the Ashes came out 98. I always forget when the date on From the Ashes is on. Is it 98? Or is it before that?
No, it's a lot earlier. It's more like 88 or 89 or something like that.
I thought that was GREYHAWK Adventures.
Hang on a second. From the Ashes. Let's see what we can.
Was it 90? I always get these all confused.
It's
92. 92. Oh, it was 92. Thank you, Dragon. 92 it came out. So, and I got this right away and didn't incorporate the wars part until years and years after. So let's say 30 plus years. Yeah, Ashes was the 90s. Yeah, it was the early 90s. Got it. Yeah, so we're talking 30 years of this development from this alone. Like, that's a really good idea. We have a lot of dwarves. We have a lot of dwarven weapons. Why don't we make legendary weapons? So with that in here, I have noted at the very end, it talks about the wielders of each. Walt's character, Axel Cronin, especially Priest of Clangeddon, has one. Yeah. So he was actually gifted it by a half dark elf knight character. Look, even Lord Mastrine is mentioned here, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's actually mentioned in this. So Brolin's another Klangen priest. The main servant is Horkar the Magnificent, the champion of the Prince of Ulick. And then, so you get the idea, though. This is all from that one article because I love the idea, and I'm like, I'm gonna make it my own, just like Gary says. And this is not me writing a story about how this happened and going retconning it back. This is in the course of 30 years of gameplay. Up to 2020 when this was written, that's where we were at that point, and we haven't discovered the last two. So here you go. And here are the in old school rules, the weapons, the servant or armor Klangen, and tells you who wields it and what each of the weapons do. They're +3 and hey, look at that! Here comes Mike. It's going to be good to see Mike. Awesome. Hi, Mike. Good to see you, man.
Hello.
How are you, dude?
Hey, everybody, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Mm-hmm.
How
Yep,
about for about 5 minutes? I thought your team had a chance today.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were actually playing not bad in the first quarter. I was rooting for them. So how you doing, man?
All good. It's November. We're almost to Thanksgiving.
Almost
Yeah.
to Thanksgiving, yes. Believe it or not, I'm technically working tomorrow from home, next 3 days. So, but first thing first, going to the urologist and pulling. Oh gosh, so I'm on the antibiotics for that happening. So, so Mike, what are your thoughts on, like, you do this all the time? You take little tidbits and develop it.
Well, I'm going to have to play a little catch up here on the topic. Developing public sources. I've been in and out.
Yeah, so say you got a tidbit. I'm talking about Varnafane myself. So like a mention of something, maybe it's a battle flotsam and jetsam or something like that you in the shield, or something that happened in all that you took and you're like, man, I'm putting that into what's going on in my old game, my old setting, right? Just a little tidbit of information you got that's in a published source setting somewhere and you've run with it and you've expanded on it.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
I'll
have to think.
Yeah, I know. I know you'll be good on this one. So there you go. The Servant, Kurgnil, the Bane of Humanoids, Muamin's Peace, the Tactician, Durginal, Bane of Underdark Dwellers. They are the 4. There are 2 unnamed ones, and why are they unnamed? Because now, at my leisure, as the game goes, we have actual dwarves that are adventuring in Narwhal in the area that have gone into the Narwhal Headhunters, in particular to try and locate the final 2 axes from this stash that are missing. And over the course of time, I bring them out. What's up? Your boss will like it that you're here, man.
Yeah.
I think he'll like it. If you're talking about your wife, that's a different story. So that's it, Dragger. A little tidbit. That's it. Now, a lot of mine aren't, but like, we can say everything is because the towns you're using, unless you're starting something up completely, in an area not known. But so it says the final 2 battle axes of Varnafane have yet to be located, and their names are still unknown. In adventures to come, Dwarven characters may seek to discover these weapons to claim them as their own. It could happen in a rumor. It could happen in I get a certain mood that day. And I'm like, you know what? I'm gonna throw this out. I need a major lore catch, and here's the time to do this. Hey, Goats, good to see you, and lock you in. And I may do that. So, oh, cool, man. That's awesome, Rob. Yeah, that was a really good Kickstarter. So there you go. That's my example of me running with a little tidbit out of From the Ashes. Really, 3 paragraphs. And From the Ashes, and turning it into an entire plot. And I have these long-term plot lines, probably 5 or 6 that are running for 20 plus years. This is one of them that's running through the campaign. So, and that's the Varnafane one. So Anna, what about you?
Well, I tend to stick to an area, so to speak. I focus so for instance, the Shieldlands campaign, I started about 5-6 years ago, something like that, or probably more, 10 years ago now. to say, where do I want doing when I had my Rel Devin campaign, when I knew we were only going to have it a couple of more years. And I realized that now I need to start thinking, where do I want to go next? And I realized Shieldlands was kind of an interesting bit of a frontier area, and it had not been treated that deep, so to speak. It has
Right.
some material, but not overly deep. And it was also an area that was a cartography challenge because it was just empty green hexes on the Darlene map, nothing else really.
What's up, Greg?
And so my idea first, I tried to read all the material that I had, so to speak. So I simply put together in the PDF all the stuff, probably about 600 pages or so of material, all in all, that I found on Shieldlands. So I read through that in a couple of months. I read a few pages every day. I read 10 or 15 or 20 pages, something like that. So in a few months, I'd taken a few notes, and I had a kind of a basic idea of basically everything published of and some fan stuff and so on of the Shieldlands. So then I knew what the material I had to work with, so to speak. And then I started to realize that, okay, this is the situation according to lore. And because I don't want to contradict lore openly and say, no, that didn't happen or whatever. So even if I want to change the facts on the ground, so to speak, I still want a lot of people to believe the things that are lore, so
That
to
makes
speak.
sense.
But I want there to be secret, real truths behind some of it, because some of it's propaganda, some of it is written by someone who wants someone else to believe stuff, and so on. It's a bit like politics and so on. There's about a disinformation around there. So I tweaked a few things here and there. And for instance, in this case, the lore is that Katarina came in and she became the new head of the Order of the Shield, and she revived it, so to speak. And after she had been on the streak of reconquering, leading as a marshal of Oriundi, she led the troops to regain territory from Ayus. Then she came back to lead her own native Shieldlands. But I wanted something, a bigger picture. I wanted that to fit into a much bigger, broader picture. So, and someone pointed me, a lot of little anecdotes pointed me to the fact that Bahamut needed a hero. And I was like, Hieronymus is an aspect of Bahamut, and Hextor is an aspect of Tiamat. I played with that idea for 15, 20 years due to inspirations here and there. And now I realize now is the time to make that into a key cornerstone in my campaign, so to speak. So then I started to look into, okay, so Katarina is now, she's a paladin of Hieronymus, but she's also one of Hieronymus' dragon champions.
Thanks, Tina.
And so I kind of built that, but I had another character already that was Arkael, the gold dragon, that was one of Bahamut's disciples and guardians. So I made Katarina because it fitted in the story, because dragons become 1,000 years old. So I say, how old is Katarina? So I say, okay, if she's a dragon, I can make her an adult dragon, like 250-ish years, something like that. So she's an up and coming star in the world of dragons. And then I try to look at the timeline I made of all the published lore of Shieldlands, and I started to see, okay, if I make her that age, how will she fit in? And then I gave her a story that weaved between the dates, and that was her secret story, so to speak. And then I had her secret story built in, and I realized, okay, that's one of the foundations. But now I needed villains, and I needed stuff. So then I started I looked at Ayus himself, and I realized, no, I don't want him. He's too high up, and I don't want him involved yet, so to speak. So I wanted, and I look at the first tier of henchmen, and it's like, no, I'm going to go to the second tier of henchmen, and I find Vakunis. Perfect, awesome, I loved him. And some of them, Mashkalin, and he hasn't introduced him to the players yet. Exactly, the vampire. So I gave him. So I looked at Mashkalane was the first major villain that I've come, and they haven't encountered him yet, but he's behind the story. So I wanted to do something cool with the vampires, and this is something I haven't told about yet, but I think it's time to tell a little bit of the story of Mashkalane and vampirism in GREYHAWK, so to speak. The the Flan called it the sickness of Grasset, or Grasset's touch. So I have it that it's the vampires are actually something tied to Demon Lord Grasset. He was his thralls originally, so to speak. So it was that was the Flan belief. So it dates from old Flandom. So vampirism has probably been invented in other areas too, but for the old Flan, and it was almost seen as a blessing in some sense, because you became this cool
Immortal.
creature
Yeah.
that could immortal and so on. It was like the cool, sexy version of a lich, so to speak. Meaning the lich was the nasty type. The vampire was the cool kid on when it comes to the undead ones. And so Grasset had it promoted. So there's like, there might be other versions of the vampire, just like there are different versions of the lich. But I wanted it to be a Grasset version. And Mashkalin is one of these vampires. And he was originally there to help to promote Ayus when he was introduced, as he was Grasset's son and Igwul's son, and he was there to make sure that he survived his first decade or two as a young politician or young lord up in the lands, up the bitter lands up there. And then he kind of rose from there and went on and became, so he's old and he's cool, so to speak. So he was one of the master villains, and Vakunis was one of these that been around and screwed up here.
Yeah, they're
and there
both mentioned in Eye is the Evil. So note that that's
yep,
so
exactly.
pulled from Eye is the Evil on both those.
Yep. So that's what I do. And then I needed another kind of that could break into and screw up things. And Caraptis, I think, was perfect for that. So I needed a maverick villain, someone that wasn't tied to Ayus directly. So
yeah, the third party villain, throwing that in
exactly.
there. Is,
yep. That was one. He was
that's
yeah.
good.
So yep. So he was tied in, and then I needed someone who could be either a villain or one of the good guys. So I invented Glushnag the Mighty, a hobgoblin that used to work for the Horn Society. And then since Horn Society and Ayus, in my take on it, became enemies, then Glushnag all of a sudden became effectively an ally of Shieldlands. And he was the one that murdered Shieldlanders from the beginning, but then he hates Ayus more. And so he's now the turncoat. And he is the most powerful hobgoblin, and he is a lawful evil kind of guy that has principle of he's really a harsh commander, but he's not he gives all his loot to his men, so they are, and his underlings, so he has a loyal following of thousands of hobgoblins that think he's the coolest guy ever, so to speak. And so he's the one that, and he has the same hobby that Katarina. He likes to kill Ayusian clerics. He loves to basically decapitate them and kill them and make sure they have gruesome death. And Ayus sends more and more and wonders what the heck is happening, because they never come back. and he has an artifact and stuff. He's the kind of in between. You never know which side he can be on. So that's my premise to start, so to speak, when I started the campaign.
So here's my big question, the humdinger of them all.
Yep.
And I don't. This is not meant by offense, but I'm going to ask it. You said you don't like touching canon, but you've put, which is great. I use players from canon all the time, but you've made one. She doesn't exist. You've made her a faux character.
Oh yeah. Yeah, okay. Yeah. I tweak things. I add, and that's the thing. You always add in. I add in a lesser villain, so to speak, that sub henchmen, and because in like in any campaign, you need a lot of cannon fodder. You need villains and opponents need to be killed, so to speak. That needs to be
Understood. What I'm saying is, Katarina was never born as a human.
No, exactly. That I changed. Oh, yes, exactly. I changed that. But a lot of people still believe that she was a human, so to speak. So that's
a major canon deviation.
Yep. Oh, yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yep. But that was
it's
by
a cool
intent,
concept,
so to speak. Yeah. And also it fits in because I wanted a bigger story. I wanted the story between Bahamut and Tiamat to play out over the setting-wide conflict, meaning the Great Kingdom is under Tiamat. Tiamat's rule and hell, and that means that Bahamut needs to quench one enemy first. So he go after Ayus first, and then take on the Great Kingdom or Tiamat. So eventually they circle around each other and have like a cold war, but because they want to build support stronger. They think there's still a lot of room to grow for either of them. So that means that none of them are really benefiting from a confrontation yet, so to speak. But the day might come with a big clash. But so right now they're circling and building strength by quenching and killing off smaller foe and building strength.
So Ayus is just a little dust fleck.
Not really. Not really. Not necessarily. And that's the thing. We don't know who's behind Ayus.
Right.
Is it just him? Is this just a crazy demon lord, half deity that roams on the plains of Earth? Or is he building alliances with others? No one really knows yet. Does he have support from other major players in the Abyss or somewhere? Meaning, we don't know Demogorgon, Orcus, or anyone else. Are they involved? We don't know that yet.
So, that's and the course of adventuring, you'll see where your group goes. Yeah. You have one group with a lot of people, people coming in and out, special events and all, but really it's one group.
Yeah, it's one group, and it's been a few players gone back and forth and stuff. And now I've also run my convention games. I've run in the same world, in the same campaign.
So they're add-on. Yeah. That's just like my special add-on groups.
Yeah, they just drive the story, so to speak. So I invent NPCs for them to run as player characters. And what they do affect the campaign going on. And I'm very particular with time. So we only gone forward a couple of months. In 5 years of play, we covered 2 months in game time. So it hasn't so it hasn't been that much downtime yet. So that's
So you've seen my example, which is narrowed to just a cache of weapons, and you've seen Anna's, which is her sealed land setting and how it went from there. So, Mike, what do you got for us?
All right, so on the spot.
Yeah, it can be innocuous. It could be something like, you know what, I added this person.
A source that led to some campaign.
Yeah, to a plot arc you developed or an idea. Like,
so I used to like these Living Greg journals.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's the dispatches in the back.
Okay, cool.
I don't know if anyone remembers those.
Which Living Grog Journal Gazette are you referring to?
All of them, really. But let's try whichever one this is.
Is that 3? Just open up the inside cover on that.
3. It's 3. It's 3.
Okay, cool. Give me 1 second here.
So in the back of these, they had all these little like adventure snippets, and I never played Living GREYHAWK, you see, but I assumed that they were probably summaries of what was going on in the Living GREYHAWK campaign. Mm-hmm. I don't know. Maybe they had nothing to do with the Living GREYHAWK campaign, but I once in a while would take some of these and run with them, either in campaign or writing. And this one in particular had something in High Folk.
Okay. Yep, the funeral of Councilman Telvis Lorwyn.
Yeah, Telvis Lorwyn. I'm like,
there you go.
Who's this Telvis Lorwyn? And I ended up writing like him into a whole backstory on an article for the Company of the Talon. So I made him like a former associate of the guy who ran the Blue Dragon Inn in New York City.
Oh, cool.
All right. So it was just all these NPCs that the player characters got involved with through this funeral, I guess. Where it went from there, I don't really remember. But the surviving, it was almost like, I don't know if it was a murder mystery or something, but like the surviving members, I think Goost and Lone Pike, the one of the Blue Dragon, probably sent them to High Folk for what reason. And maybe they were investigating the murder or following up on that little snippet from the dispatch. But that was one of them. And then there was another one, I can't remember what issue it was in, but it had something to do with it was a woman from Comal. And I was like, ooh, Comal, that's like off the map. That's way west, right? And something about her she had like a little companion. I think it was a Zvard or something. And like I ended up building a whole thing around that little dispatch as well. I can't remember what issue that one was in. But anyhow, if you just point being you flip through these dispatches, you could probably
yeah, I mean these are great. These are like the events in the northern and eastern and southern Flaness ones that Rob and Gary used to do in the Dragons. And this Eric Mona and crew were very good at this because at bringing this out so that people who weren't involved in the Living Grail campaign could. I mean, look at the articles we got: Sean, Fred, and Eric writing Blood of Heroes. Sean did something else. So let's see who. So and the editor's Eric on this. So he's just they're really good on. And these Living Greyhawks, if you can, if you look hard enough, you can find the PDF downloads for these. They're not large. So you'll be able to get them all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, fantastic Greyhawk material. But
fantastic.
We have a good question from BB Found. Yeah, BB Found.
Oh, BB, go for it.
Yeah, how different are Evids from the horned hierarchs? And that I think is a great question. And we know way more about the Evids than we do about the hierarchs of the society.
That's true.
So, but according to the legend is that the Evids sold themselves to Diabolica, to hell, basically. And all the sons of the Evids would, in 333 generations, will be basically thralls of the hells in order to gain the power they gain, so to speak. So they kind of made a pact, and they called it Balzebul or something like that, which to me is just like a code name for one of the devils. So how deep you want to take that tie or that corruption or something, that's up to you. Meaning Card Sargent and he only wrote about it in kind of superficial terms, not detailed so on. So you can and then you can tie, there's another set of that you can tie into the Evids, and that's the Hextorians. Meaning Hextorians are often cited to be the heralds of hell. So what I did was that I connected those two and say that, well, the Evids and the Naelexes sold their soul literally to tie themselves to hell, because that gave them the power to stay on for another few hundred years and stuff like that. So that was the my machination, and that's where Tiamat comes in, because she's the guardian of hell. So that kind of sealed that they took that side. But the Horn Society are very different in that sense. What we know is that they are speculated to be either diabolical, meaning worship hell, or they're just a bunch of local warlords that are evil for various kinds. And some of the hierarchs are listed, and they are a diverse bunch. Some of them are Nerul worshippers, and some of them are some just evil fighters, and so on and so forth. So we don't know much, but what I did was that I took the Horn Society to be the champions of the Flan, the dark side of the Flan. They were the ones that took root up north outside of the Great Kingdom in order to be kind of the evil knights protecting old Flan habits, the dark side of the Flan, so to speak. And so they were their champions. So there is a diverse bunch of worshipping all the bad parts that were part of old Flan culture, the dark side, the horned ones from old Flandom. And Ayus was supposed to be the champion of the Flan originally, and then he turned afterwards, and that's when so when his domain rose, then and Ayus started to gain power, then the Horn Society, the Horned ones, were just someone to call in if the Flan needed them, so to speak. But then when Ayus was captured, and this is something that ties into lore, meaning that's when the Horn Society was formed. And I took that because then the Horn Society realized we need to take charge of this realm up there to protect the lands of Ayus until he comes back again. That was their purpose. And then when Ayus came back and became big and successful, he took over their lands, and that was part of the plan. And then Ayus went rogue, and whole things went haywire politically. But the Horn Society are not a dynasty that runs a big empire. They are kind of a traditional old warlords that have religious and other connotations to the old land. That's how I interpret them. But you can basically take them any villainy way you want. You can tweak them one way or the other. They are very much malleable to whatever villainous need your campaign has, so to speak. Okay. I hope that was a little bit of inspiration of the two, so to speak. It's yeah.
All right. So here's my next one. That's good, Anna. It's a great answer to the question. See, I always, for some reason, equate the Ivids to the Hierarchs. I always have. You know, just an offshoot of them.
You know, in some ways, I have that too, but they come from different parts, so to speak, and now they're enemies because Ayus have gone off the Rookers, and he's now rogue and runs his own scheme, and that means that now they're not friends anymore; they're enemies. Yeah.
All right, this is one of my favorites. It's also one of Bill and Master Crafter's favorites. I don't think he responded to me. I was like, "Do you want one to talk about?" Well, I'm going to talk about this one because this affects one of his characters. He has Jonar Doombug, who's a half-orc fighter cleric up in the Vesvi Forest, in that group I have up there. So, yeah, of course. Blue Joy Lurking is great. Thank you so very much. So let's go. We're going to go to Ayus the Evil, and we're going to go to page 29, and this is it. It doesn't even have its own subtopic, and these are the ones you really got to dig for. And this is where Carl. So yeah, Mike is on tonight. Mike was. Yeah. So is your team coming back? What's the score there, Gary? Because I know they were. No. It was 17-7 last time I checked. So and that's worse than that. Mike, you don't have to smile. My team plays in an hour and a half. So.
Yeah,
you know, I'm sorry, Curtis. I'm not laughing. I actually wanted them to win. So, the Northern Vesvi. So we're in the Vesvi Forest, but not in the Marklands book. We're in the Lands of Ayus book. So, it just talks about each section of the Vesvi where there's fighting going on. And this relates to Panshishek, who is a member of the Boneheart, a nasty one. He's not as high as Halgarthia as a priest, but he's pretty nasty. So, and here we go. There's a special problem for Panjashek and his commanders, which has arisen of late. Now, among the free Selbits, that's an orc tribe. You know, they have all different orcs. And Ayusian orcs tend to come from different tribes. Believe it or not, they're not all the same. But the Selbits. A charismatic cult styling itself as the Torch of Grumpsh has become very influential. Their leader, Grekden Selruk, is said to be 7 feet tall and have skin of stone. He says to possess a magical torch which blinds and spits fire at enemies of the orc power who is his patron. Rumors of this prowess spread like wildfire among Ayus' orcs. This wouldn't be considered too big of a problem, but an entire warband of 200 Selbits based in Island converted to the faith in readying and slew the priests of Ayus who commanded them. Wow, this sounds like fun. So this is the only time an occurrence has happened, and Panjashek has concealed it from his greater Bernhardt, superiors, and Ayus himself. I think he's lesser Bernhardt at this time. The priest is now desperate to wipe out the Torch of Grumpsh, so the balance of operations has turned to search and destroy here. Now, Grekden has also noted his stats, but let's come to Anna's map here. Real quick, I should have already had it up. I apologize, and we'll talk about. I have our highest level base campaigning, which we go to very infrequently, and I should go back to it. But this was in the late 90s. Once again, it was during that glory era of figuring out how to incorporate From the Ashes into my game. And once I did that, it worked well. It just took some time. So let me go up to the map here, Anna's map, and bring this up. So when we're talking, that's it. That's all there is about the torture groups right there, and in Grechten's description. That is it. I don't know of anyone who's ever developed it besides me. And if you did, kudos to you. But so we come up to here. This is a 576 map where Anna superposed the follow glades in, so I'd have them. So this whole area here, running up, there's Lark's Tower. Where Island's up here, isn't it? I thought Island's all the way up here.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the coastline of Whitesell Lake for the most part. Into this area here up is the domain of these orcs, the Torch of Grumsh. Well, they don't want to have nothing to do with Ayus. They are Grumsh orcs. Screw Ayus. So what does that mean? The enemy of my enemy is my friend. In the course of adventuring, Bill's half-orc character, Jonar, actually went in there under a, I guess not a flag of truce detente with other player characters, including Walt's Necromancer Riff, fighter Necromancer. And then they played it up. Sorry about this slavery issue, but they played it up as that Riff was the slave boy of the half-orc to make him, I have him. I have this, this Necromancer commanding undead. So he had to go through a series of tests to prove his worthiness. And the very last test, he kind of failed. But I let it go, and I probably shouldn't have. We said, if you want to see like groups, you must become like us. And they gave him his own ornately wood carved torch. Right, it looks like it's real and all, and then it's got a spike on the end of it. He's like, take that and pluck one of your eyes out for me.
Saw that coming.
Yeah. And then he said, or you can do this, and it was a major task. So, we're being beaten like holy shilling and red. That's funny, Gary. Right? Yeah, you didn't do it, Bill. I know, but that was fun, though, Bill, wasn't it? That was a lot of fun. And the Torch of Grumsh, I love third parties. I love Ayus, good guys. Here's a third party that they may be allied with you now, but after Ayus is out, then it's back to orcs versus elves in the forest. So and once again, Sargent is great at this. And I imagine if I was on the eastern side of the map, I would be eaten up, Ivid the Undying, of all that goodness and tidbits that he has in there. So, yeah. Did you really have to go with the Shieldlanders? Well, So that's another good one that I loved from that. And this is where you need to. I'm not trying to sound facetious. You need to take the references you're using, read them, highlight or note down, or if you don't want to ruin it now, you can print out your PDFs and go, man, this is good, but it doesn't fit right now. But maybe in 6 months, this plot line I can get to.
Yeah, and also don't start out, meaning the example I made with the Shieldlands was big, and so small. If this is your first Shieldlands campaign, don't think about the big picture in 30 years. Think about what's happening in this village. What are the local hoodlums? Yes. What are the evil baron or the old whatever undead living in the old temple? Just go with that. Invent your own little local squabbles and go with that, and then elevate from there, so to speak. And invent your village and just read the basic outline of the country and realize that, my type of village where there is a temple ruin that used to be blah blah and whatever, or some nasty cult have come in or something. That can happen. Just think about it. What would happen in that country if you placed whatever idea you have in that country? And then if that sounds like an interesting possibility for you, go with it. And then develop from there, so to speak.
So you could take... I always say this, and I know this may be hard. Don't worry about the grand scheme of things, right? They're going to be happening, and they can happen at your pace. I say that if you start in 5 post wars, don't worry about where Ayu's troops are unless you're venturing right there. If you're venturing in frickin' Keeland or Viluna or in the Cron Hills or Wild Coast, don't worry about that stuff. Just worry about your players don't care.
Yeah, meaning I've run my Shieldlands campaign for over 60 and almost 70 sessions, and I still haven't even got my major villain in play. And it's been 70, including my convention games. It's been a bit over 70 sessions, and I still haven't. A couple of the Keraptis have been in play twice, kind of, sort of, not directly, but indirectly for the most part. And that's it. Glushnaga has been seen 3 times in 70 sessions. So the villains don't really. It was Bakunis was the odd one out because he got killed in session 3. So it was kind of a
but your characters were 0 level 8 times for 8 sessions, right?
Oh yeah. So they had help. But and they took him by surprise. So he never thought they were a serious threat, so to speak. But they had help.
I have a problem with the pacing there, Anna. So if you have a reliable group of people who are been there for 80 sessions, you say?
Yeah. Well, not all of them. It's been 6 or 8 con games, but 60 games. Yeah.
But to spread it out over that much time, and you say, "Oh, I haven't revealed my big bad yet," I would worry about that pacing. Like when you do finally reveal it to it, will the payoff be there or not?
Exactly. That happens, but that's the downside with sandboxing, because sandboxing, it's not a story, it's just a world that the characters go around in. So in the beginning, the characters were so low level that they were scared of leaving the village. Meaning, I vented a little village, took 15 sessions before they even venture outside the city walls, because they were like, oh, this is getting scary. Or the village walls, because the walls were old and half ruined, so they were looking over them, and it's nasty, scary out there, and so
very Shadow Darky.
Yeah, it was in the beginning. It was definite. That was my goal. I've wanted it to see you now living behind Iusian lines. Hold on to what little dear life you have, because it's going to be snuffed away, so to speak. And that was the
I get it, because like 0 level and 1st level characters are worried about day-to-day survival, and they're not worried. Hey, Josh, they're not worried about the big bad. But I understand in her play style that it works. But once again, we all have this. We all have players come and go, right? And there's no exception to that, right? You have 1 or 2.
Oh yeah, I had 3, 4 players have left and been replaced over the years.
So I'm trying to block the light when I'm standing here. So there you go. So it's not in. Yeah. So it happens to all of us. And stick to your guns and enjoy the style. And like here's a bizarre question. My campaign. Who's my antithesis in my campaign?
Yeah.
Well, exactly. There's multiples. There's multiple groups that are about, right? Dark Brotherhood, Mongrels of the Putrid Tongue, right? Not the Scarlet Brotherhood, because I don't care to use them. A lot of evil cults. A lot of the Pomars. There's a lot going on, but it's not like I have Wenger in my game. Is that it? So yeah, I'm the antithesis. Wenger's not. My game is on the not the macro GREYHAWK scale. The Order of Ulick is fighting evil along, in its areas that it is, but it's not fighting the war against Ayus, except they are in the Shieldlands and the Vespi, so maybe I guess they are a bit, but it's not a let's eliminate evil. Let's kill Ayus, let's kill Grazits. It's not on that level. So yeah, there you go. Yeah, Jay, that's funny. So Skarn's pseudo love interest. Hey, have you seen Mike Disney there, Rob? I haven't seen him on in ages. All right, so Mike, you got another little tidbit there? I was thinking something from you have to have something for the Sea Princes, no? Like, you've done so much with them. I was thinking,
but I don't know if I was really building off anything published. There are adventures out there, Salt Marsh, Beyond the Crystal Cavern. I don't know if I've really built off of anything published when running that outside of the 83 guide.
That's the 83 guide works perfectly, though. I mean, so
I had a different tack I was going to go because you guys were talking about big picture.
Go for it.
I was gonna throw an exception out there.
Yeah, go for it, please.
So my exception to that is I use the Evil, Markland's the 83 guy, whatever. I ran military campaigns.
You did.
I leaned into they provided all the troop numbers you needed. I ran so many GREYHAWK Wars in second edition. They're all on my blog from a period I was just looking at it, like a 25-year period.
Oh my
so
gosh.
I did do the macro campaign on 25 years worth of wars that culminated in the big I used Furiani throwdown. I played it out. And it was a world war too. And I'm not talking GREYHAWK Wars. This was around the same time as GREYHAWK Wars or before it was published, but it was a world war. So anyhow, but that would have all started with just the published sources of troop information and then having your choice of whatever mass combat system you want to use. I liked War Machine from the companion box set.
GREYHAWK Wars Redux, Saturday, August 3rd, 2019.
Yeah, the Wars Redux. That might have been my alternate view on how the GREYHAWK Wars should have went out.
Oh, okay, cool.
As to the GREYHAWK Wars that I ran, my 2E campaign, they're actually
I can find some of them. Here you go.
On the
here's the Great Kingdom War.
My best of section.
There you go. I just clicked onto this. Yep, there you go. Great Kingdom War of Succession, 610 to 611 CY.
Right. And so just the long and short of it was in this sort of campaign, it didn't matter what was going on in the individual villages. Everything was done on the big political scale. Just roll out your Darling map and have IUs and Furiani duke it out. Right?
Yeah.
And then sift through the pieces when it's over. Now, that was just a quick one I was going to throw out there. You can.
No, that's
some other time.
That's one where you took all the information. It was in all the published sources, and you just had at it. You're like, well, they did this for a reason. We're gonna, and you did like. All
those people, Pan Shazek and all those people you were talking about.
Yeah, they all had
they're all in there.
Major roles, right?
Because they were all leaders of different armies and things.
Let's see. Let's go to.
I would go to Furiani IU's Part 1.
Look at that hand-drawn love.
I was doing hand-drawn troop movements.
Look at that.
On notebook paper.
It's awesome.
That's so great. Oh my gosh.
I was very meticulous back then. Not so much anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah. So if you've got some players who are into wargaming, this was a great way to play it out.
Yeah, they're in almost the flame flower there. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
There's the flare line and the raising line, Zenvaline's troops. Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. You know, all the.
Yeah, that's cool, man.
Because it's right there. It's always in the backdrop, but to actually play it out in the forefront is quite an experience. Not necessarily one I want to repeat.
No, it is so much. It's a Herculean task, to run. And I don't know if I'll ever do I'll do big battles on the table that will be part of a larger battle. But I don't think on this scale. I think that it's just not for us.
I don't see myself ever doing something like that with my current playing group, but I could see myself doing that with the GREYHAWK community.
Oh, cool.
I don't know how to wrap my head around that, but if you know what I mean, people who are as enthusiastic about the military history of GREYHAWK as myself, that would be more fun.
I want to see the Bellport Harbor. This is Sea Princess, right?
No, that's Barbarian.
Oh, that's the Barbarian one. Oh, there we go.
Yeah.
Look at that nice map.
So to tie this in again, the 5 shall be one adventures.
Yep.
I did more with those modules probably than anyone.
You did, absolutely.
The goal of that module was supposed to be to unite the Barbarian Knights. Under that tune, and that's what happens in this campaign. they're united, and then they raid the Great Kingdom.
That's cool. Look, you even got the movement points down here. You know, where each one A through looks like F, G.
I really tried to write a good narrative on that because it's hard to remember what stuff you did.
Yeah,
years ago,
absolutely.
30 years ago. It's probably more 30 years ago, actually.
That's a good one. That's a real good one.
Yeah, if you like maps, you can spend a lot of time on my site.
They are fantastic maps.
Right. Well, it's Anna's maps. Just to be clear, it's Anna's maps.
Oh yeah, but I'm especially made
troop movements on them.
No, but I meant your pencil sketch.
Yes.
I love that one. It's so good, just like your Elven map and stuff.
You know,
so cool.
Now that you mention it, I would like to redraw that someday. So it's like cleaner and crisper and not so. I don't know.
Oh yeah, you should.
Yes.
So macro. So now on a more micro scale, I wanted to throw it real quick. So Jason said something about not ever using the Scarlet Brotherhood. I wanted to go back to one of my earliest campaigns and how in the A3 guide, it says that the Scarlet Brotherhood is ran by thieves, monks, and assassins. And so I'm like, ooh, assassins. And I really ran with that. And so at every turn, I was throwing Scarlet Brotherhood assassins at my players. And they were living in the city of GREYHAWK. So it didn't matter where they were at, on what adventure they were at. These Scarlet Brotherhood assassins kept popping up more, killing for whatever.
And they weren't members of the Assassin's Guild either, because they would have been after him too. So,
right. These were foreign assassins.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I don't know what contrived reasons I had, who was sending me and why, but
sometimes
my players,
you don't need a reason.
They hated the Scarlet Brotherhood so much just because of that one little reference about assassins and me saying assassins after them, that eventually in one of those GREYHAWK War articles I wrote, they conquered the Scarlet Brotherhood.
Nice.
They were tired of getting picked on. they went from the Wild Coast to the Palmers to the Scarlet Brotherhood. They just went down the chain, and so it was almost like a sandbox war at that point, because they actually took the initiative to start a war.
You get to the point, and you get so that I know this, and sometimes we all put as DMs, we know how to push buttons, right? Our players. And you get to the point where you've pushed that button so many times that there ain't no going back, right?
Right.
So, you're going to have to, this one's going to have to close out at some point. So, I know that I did that with, and I don't think Tim's on, Stronghold Tim, who's been playing in my games. He's got Tim DeTruly as Paladin. First adventure he did with that character, he came across the mongrels of the Putrid Tongue and the new junior, which is half halfling, half orc. And he of course got away, and he's just been fixated on finding this. So now Junior's gonna start taunting him and sending him stuff and all to get him even more in a frenzy. See if he can make him lose his paladinhood, just to mess. Because I know I got someone by the I won't even talk about that. So no, the original to me are just kind of maps she's players because it gives them more of the. Yeah, man, dude, there's nothing better than a hand drawn map. I just was never good at it at all. Mine are terrible. My handwriting's awful. So really good one. All right, let's go to this one, because Anna and I are going to have two different sub stories for you on this one. So. Yes, the mongrels of the Putrid Tongue, and that's whenever you see the commercial with Tim ripping the tongue out. It goes back 30 plus years, and what they do is they don't kill you; they cut your tongue out and they put it on their shield and they animate them, and they'll flicker. The more tongues you have, the higher your status is. They also take. It says it right in the original monster manual. Elves are fecund and will breed with other races, but they cannot breed with orcs. They cannot breed with elves. So the ultimate goal for the mongrels is to figure out, how can I breed an orc with an elf? Because that's the one that doesn't work. So there is the magic. That magic panacea does exist. So there you go. All right. All right, Anna. I'll tell mine real quick, and then you want to go on what you would do here. So that's 3 halves. Man, bear, pig. Yes.
Man, bear, pig.
So half halfling, half orc. Yes. All right. Lord Mistrine.
Mm-hmm.
So I showed the map where he is. He is located in this lovely area of the Wild Coast. And look at his lands right there. Lord Mistrine. It's like he's knocking on the door of Narwhal constantly. I mean, it's right down the road. Each one of these dots is 10 miles, right? Or is that 50? They're 50, right?
5 miles.
Yeah.
The small ones.
Oh, the small ones are 5, and the pink ones are 50, right?
50, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so he's about 75 to 100 miles away.
From Narwhal?
Yeah.
No, it's 10 miles from Narwhal.
No, I think it's way more than that.
No, it's 10 miles.
I thought you said each dot was 5.
No, not the white ones are just markers. That they're not. It's the pink ones.
The pink ones are 50.
Yeah, the big ones. Yeah, but there is one small one between Narwhal and Mistrine.
Wow. So you're saying that this is only
10 miles. Yeah.
That's not far at all.
No, it's not that far.
That is as close as it gets to have an enemy.
I can take on the new map. Hang on a second. I can give you the exact number.
Yeah,
I
please.
just open QGIS and we can figure it out here. Yeah.
So here's what it says in From the Ashes. The formidable 4-towered stone castle, some Lord Mistrine, 15th level neutral evil fighter, who has 50 men at arms and unknown number of spellcasters. Mistrine gives allegiance to no one, and patrolling militias do not approach this gloomy place, though they do spy within his lands. Mistrine is known, however, to have a powerful hatred of humanoids. He and his men, all clad in black plate mail, have been seen making forays into the buffer zone to attack them. On one occasion, multiple flame strikes were seen. That means 9th level priests, 9th level clerics and priests, if you have flame strikes, beset the unfortunate objects of his wrath. So Mistrine's priests must be formidable men. He laid claims to land on a 15-mile radius east of the Jewel River, and no one disputes his claim. So I have him as a thorn in the side to the Narwhal headhunters, but not an active one. Which means that if you go into his lands, you're going to have trouble. But he tries, just like all dictators and rulers, push out, push out, push out. Further, further, further. In my area of Narwhal, there are 3 major factions. We have the Narwhal headhunters here, Lord Mistrine and his forces here, and the Pasquarel Cockatrice riders here, which also give allegiance to no one. There's like a détente between them, but a lot of times there's open aggression. Also, Lord Mistrine has at least 3, probably 5 daughters that I've developed, and they're all anti-paladins. So, a daughter of Mistrine can come with a smile on her face and will cut your throat or poison you at the drop of a hat. So there you go.
Yep. I measured from Mistrine to Narwhal is 18 miles.
18. Okay. There you go.
Yep.
That's close. That's less than a day. That's on horseback. That's pretty quick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't go into where Mistrine came from as much as Anna does. I think that's where we differ. So you think he's from the Great Kingdom?
Oh yeah, he's one of the Knight Protectors, a treasurer, and one of the top so when the Great Kingdom fell apart, that was one of the schemes, was to hide away some of the treasure, disperse it away in safe locations, and Mistrine had a significant portion of some of the treasure, so he set up shop there because it was kind of an area that was reasonably close to civilization, but still up for grabs. So he took it and bribed his way in more than fought his way in. So he kind of gave Narwhal and a bunch of other locals enough money and say, I'm going to set up shop in the forest here. So here's a bunch of money to not bother me for the next 5 years. And a lot of them took that. So they thought it was a good idea. And there we are. Now he has a little town and a hold there, so to speak. So, yeah. And there's rumors that he also gave money to the oligarchs and stuff like that too. The GREYHAWK oligarchs and stuff too.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but the problem with when you bribe is that if you bribe too much, you become like, ooh, he has a lot of money. We can go and grab him. And if you don't bribe enough, they will come and bother you because you're irritant. So he had to try and bribe the right amount, so to speak. And so far he seemed to have succeeded. Yeah.
So here's my little adventure that we kind of did, and it was number 996. So it was before last summer. It was called The Last Stop on the Road, and that is an inn that is equidistant to all three. Well, it's about here on the map, and that Last Stop on the Road is a location that is kind of like the Continental is in John Wick. If you go in there, the owner's like, I don't care if you're from Mastrine, Pasquarel, or Narwhal, you know, we're here and you're here to drink and be merry, and there's no fighting going on in and around on the lands. And someone did something underhanded. It turns out it wasn't the Mastrine. Everyone thought it was, but it wasn't Lord Mastrine. And by the way, I named it. I don't know why, but I named the guy that they saved. His name was Doncic. So there you go, a basketball reference. But he now owes them. He was a fairly high level cavalier of Mastrine who the group rescued, and that was during a live stream. So there you go. And that was from that, they kind of all three we're in a moment of neutrality. All three of them are coexisting in their own little areas and worry about other things than fighting each other. Will that hold? We'll see next time I run an adventure there. So just give you an idea that things can change in my game, right? It can change in the campaign setting on a smaller scale. This has nothing to do with Greyhawk City, nothing to do with Harpy, nothing to do with Ayus. We're just right in this area. So.
Yeah, that's one of the cool things. It has nothing to do with Ayus.
Nothing. Nothing at all. It has to do with local politics. All politics are local, right? So we may get the ever mysterious Tim and his daughter on within 10 minutes if he doesn't come on by 8, and I don't think he will. We'll see. So Anna, you want to bring up another one, or Mike, you want to bring up one? Well,
I have one that I've meaning I'm now researching my next campaign.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so I've talked a little bit about it before, mentioned it, and now I'm thinking about doing an Elven campaign next time. So I have two, either go back to Rel Devon or do an Elven campaign. Those are the my main two ideas, so to speak. And to do an Elven campaign, of course, I want to go to Selene, but I want to be a bit wider than that. So I wanted to my idea is to let the players play a bunch of Elven youngsters in their 30s or 40s or 50s or 60s or whatever the teenage years. I have to kind of tweak in Hawk Tales how I see elves, and I'm going to set up this. So they will be teenage on the verge of becoming adults, so to speak. So in the beginning, I will probably do kind of boot camps, meaning they will fight some orcs on the border of the Sus or something, sent out there just to learn the ropes and get a few levels, so to speak, and learn how how things are done against foes that aren't that dangerous. And then after that, I plan to send them to deal with ancient foes and stuff of Selene, where they will go in order to level up and be with the big boys when it comes to the elves. So I want to dig into. I've never done anything with Vecna. And I realized that now is the chance. I'm going to tie into the old Vecna Empire of old, so to speak. And I also never used Veil of the Mage.
You know what you need, Anna?
Yeah?
You need an ancient elven map.
Yes, exactly. And you gave me that. And that was the one of the seeds for this. And also
the elves.
Vecna. So exactly. So I needed to. And then I read about the dim forest, about Rushmore's, and the rotted place there where they had the rotted tower, Fleeth, and so on. And one of the characters that is often forgotten in this story is Vecna's mother, that protected him and were there to and then what happened to her. so the ingredients I'm playing around with, I have not set up. I don't know how I want to do this yet. I just have a bunch of ideas, and the ideas that I'm playing with is Vecna's mother, and ancient Flan, the Valley Elves, the old locations on the side, Vecna's old empire, what remnants might be of them,
Interesting.
the kind of the leftover from there. The elves have a kind of a they are still the enemies, so to speak, from back in the day. So they haven't left. So they are guarding the place, whatever it is, in the Valley of the Mage, to make sure it doesn't come out. And so I want to send the characters to investigate, and so they go there occasionally to see what the state of it is. They don't want to cause and go there just to uproot it, because they're traditionalists after all, and even the worst should have a right to exist. It's not their territory to mess up, but they want to go and keep an eye out on these offshoots, or the infidels of the Valley Elves. And I want to look into Vecna, the old Flan, Vecna's mother, and some stuff like that. Those are the ideas I'm toying with, and then we'll see what happens. It might not be that way, but those are my basic ideas, and it will probably be another year or so before I have an idea of how to tackle it and use it, because I want to build a sandbox of that, and I want to let them send their characters in there, and I want it to be almost a horror campaign, so to speak. This is going to be tough, and it's going to be. I didn't want to have a full time travel, but it's going to almost be a time travel. It's like people, Europeans, North Americans going to Afghanistan or something. Meaning, this is old traditional stuff, so to speak. Things aren't done the way they're normally done, and so I wanted to have some stuff for that, and I wanted, of course, invent some new monsters and stuff take on this. So that's those are my ideas, and then we'll see if none of them might actually be good at the end, but that's the ideas I'm playing with.
I thought, and I'm not telling you what to do, Anna, but I thought that I want to see a Highfall campaigin. That's what I want to see, because it's an area that, I mean, we venture into Sus, right? But I want to know, it would be right here, I guess, right? Because there's a Vespi going up that.
Well, that's another area that is cool, because you have interesting things around there too to play with. Meaning, you have the Yatils are full of interesting stuff that you can actually deal with. Meaning, you have the Lost Cabins of Soykant. You have that's another one, but I'm waiting with that one until I really feel like I'm warmed up to it. And that you have the Forgotten Temple of Tharizdun.
Exactly.
I want to do something with that eventually, and I'm starting to have ideas, but they aren't as mature yet. So one day I'll tackle it, but I'm not there yet. Yeah.
It's all good. It's all good. Just, there's so many options, and that's the whole point of our discussion tonight. Is man, you can come. What's that?
I said, ooh,
Tharizdun.
Yeah.
Let me see here. All right. So, Mike, you got something else you want to bring up here?
Okay. So I know you want to hear about Sea Princess stuff.
Yeah, I'd love
and I
to.
give it some thought. So there's the reference in, I guess, the guide
83.
about the Sea Princes were trying to outlaw slavery.
Right. Right. Yeah.
Like, there's the division. Oh, the Plar of the Hool and the so-and-so of Westkeep, were against it, and so when I saw that clear divide, that might have been the genesis for a lot of the stuff I wrote for the Sea Princes articles that I did, because now I have that political line drawn in the sand: slavery, anti-slavery, and so and from there, I can further break it down into other places, a few of which I've actually ran games in.
And all that comes from a paragraph. As Mike is talking about here, it says, if these people have a fault, it is that they allow these slaves in their nation despite strong protests from the yeomanry. It is reported Prince of Monberg would abolish this practice, but his fellow nobles, Prince of Tolly, Pilar of Hool, and the Grandee of Westkeep, along with the Commodores Jetson, Flair, Wind, and Flotsam, prevent it. Just from that.
Yeah, so I really feel, going back to my Unconquered Sea Princes article,
which I agree,
this is a
100%.
huge missed opportunity to actually play out a abolitionist, like Civil War thing between the factions of the Sea Princes, rather than have some third party come in and bring more of it, I guess. But
well, no, well, or eliminate.
it just further complicated
there
it.
we go.
What it did, but
here's
everything.
all of Mike's stuff on that.
Yeah, there you go. Everything was already in place there for a very complex, you know, setting within just that one little country, and then you had to come in
I love it.
with a war and demolish it. But
yeah,
I've done worse.
Mike, and the number one thing out of everything that, well, not Feldor's one. Sorry, there, sorrows. But that's more of a joke. But the number one thing that drove me nuts about From the Ashes was, surrender or else something bad's going to happen to you. Shut up, we don't know what you're talking about. And they're all dead, but two of them, right? The next night, I was like, that's ridiculous. That is so unnecessary and grandiose. But
no offense to my friends across the pond in Limerick Onwall, but I could see Onwall or ID,
yeah, but not the Sea Princes.
Not the Sea Princes, right?
Yeah, because they are the naval power. Them and Keelan, right? In this area, it's
and they're on the other side of the sea.
Yeah,
so
all the way across the other side.
What are you going to do about it?
Yeah. So, doing something similar. Yeah. Yeah, and it's just that
you took all. It's a country of buccaneers, so you took all the bravery and
yeah, exactly.
Out of it.
I need pirates and I need a little bit of chaos on the seas in my game, and to have it, I have it in the Woolly Bay, right? You got the slavers and all. I have it now. We did an adventure searching for an ally of the Knuckle Paler. I have it all throughout this area too, running up the Blue and back.
Yeah.
I still need it here. I don't want Keeland, because they must all come out of Gryrax and Gradzel, right? The ships. It must all come from out of here because it's a strong fleet. And I don't want superiority. I want the Sea Princes to be a thorn in their side. I'm and so yeah, I agree 100%. It's Carl Sargent. There's nothing wrong with Carl Sargent. Like I said, I use 80 to 85% of everything he's written, but there's certain lines I just won't cross. So, and I at least have one out.
You could get 99%, but Jay's not going to use Philidor.
No. That and Scarlet Brother are the two turnoffs, and there's some other things too. But yeah, that's a good one. So Mike, as you see that, Mike took that whole idea out of one paragraph. So no, there's just no chance. Yeah, one stinking paragraph. All right, very good one. Very good one. So let's do this. Well, we have time here. I'm gonna go back to. I think I brought it up. I'm going to go back to this From the Ashes. I'm going to just pick one I've never used before, and we're going to develop it and just come up with an idea or two. All right? Sound good? I have the one here, and I've never used it, and I probably want to. Who here's used Pelgarn? Here it is. Right here. Here's Pelgarn on the map. All right? You may have, Mike. You may have. So Pelgarn, along the coast from Safeton, Pelgarn is a 900-strong den of thieves, black-hearted villains, and scum. Scum and villainy. Pelgarn remains very independent, and GREYHAWK has given up hope of gaining Pelgarn's alliance. There are secret plans to invade it. Pelgarn folk make little money by fishing and farming, but they prefer banditry. They raid up the small river and along the coast, mostly to the north, given Safeton's heavy militia presence. The robber baron of the settlement, Karaya Zeltrin, said to be a priest of an evil deity, which deity depends on who is telling the tale. In addition to being a very accomplished thief. So he's probably dual class. Oh, look at that. He's hopping on for the last 2025. The ever mysterious Tim. What's up, dude? Tim. Got some reverb there.
Hello.
Getting some reverb. We're talking about small term developing from even the smallest of sources and published source stories and all. We've talked about many here. So he's also a great black stallion equipped with horseshoes of a zephyr. That is it. We have 2 paragraphs on Pelgarn. So Anna, what would you do with it? Hager, thanks.
This is tricky. I've never really thought about him
That's okay.
Yeah.
So this is what I would do.
Yeah.
I would say that the slavers with their yellow flagships are attempting to woo Pelgarn into allowing them to dock and utilize these locations as a wayover point. And this guy is extremely fearful because he knows that if that happens, then he's going to have to deal with both GREYHAWK and Harby's fleets. And he'd rather have this situation now where they're at banditry and they're a small issue to them. If they become a large issue, then he's really worried. But he doesn't know how long he can hold them off. So there you go. That is my idea. Blue Bay, by the way, is Patrick's location. It's on my wall that Anna added. It has 2 lighthouses, and we've done a lot of adventuring down here. Yes, and there's Miraculous Isle. So Sandy Shores is mine. Yeah.
Yeah. So he can need some help then. So he can be a patron in some ways there.
So the question is, whose side is he? Is he going to go on maybe an adventuring party side, and an adventuring party is going to come in there and ally with him?
Or will they hire an adventuring party to help him, and then the adventuring party find out that they don't want to work for him? Is that a possible plot?
Absolutely a possible plot. Yeah. We're brainstorming plots based on these 2 paragraphs and what we know of the area. Pelgarn was always a spot for funneling cultists and others for the TOE and a basis cultists for Zugdway. That's cool, man. So did you have that in your game like that? Because it says unknown evil deity. That's a cool idea. So yeah,
it does sound like it's a reference to
it may be a reference to Gord. Okay, that he did it in the Gord novels. Yep. So yep, very cool. I got Penanglin. That's a good other. You could have undead in there too, behind the scenes. What's up, Tim? How are you? How's Valerie? Good.
Good. Happy to be back.
That's good. But how long is she back for? Just a weekend? Next week?
Until heads back Monday, I think.
Okay. So when she's back for over the Christmas holidays, let's continue our Pocket Stinkle game. Okay, cool. So Tim, give us a something small, a thread, something you saw that developed your Rovers game. I'll give you an example of one. I like this area on the map. I'm calling it Split Rock, right?
Yeah.
You made it up, right? Where is it?
Well, actually, Split Rock was this. I've been trying to find where it was.
Here it is.
When I was a little kid. I mean, single digits in age. I think it's in Ohio, or
there's one.
It was like a little tourist site, and it was a giant boulder.
It's in the Poconos.
They had been There's several places that call themselves Split Rock,
right?
And this one, it was a big giant boulder split by ice or something, and it's like, and so that's where I got the name from.
That's cool.
That shape and that split inspired the thoughts behind the.
There's a Split Rock Lodge up there when I was a kid, and it was early '70s because my dad was still alive. We stayed up there at Split Rock. Actually, my sister and I actually stood out next to it. Up there, but that may be one of many. So so there you go. That's something. But you've taken the locations on Anna's map and developed them for your entire Rovers setting, right? Okay. Also, where did you find the information? Like to start with the Rovers, why the Rovers and not the Wolf and Nomads or the Tiger Nomads? Or
in the original Barbarian section in Arthur Canada, when it's describing which sort of sets of rules would apply for the different barbarians, they describe the Rovers as the most
that is great
primitive, and all the weapons they label would be the ones that you would see in North America in the early 1600s. The types of weapons they had: javelins, clubs, hatchets, short bows, spears, all those sort of weapons that would be assigned to the Rovers were what I would say are almost exactly the same that the Native Americans had in
Here it
back then.
is. This is page 20, Unearthed Arcana. So within the world of Greyhawk fantasy setting, based on, so there's nothing here about Forgotten Realms barbarian class, but here it is. Barbarians from the Rovers of the Barrens, Tiger, Wolf, Nomads would be excellent horsemen. The Rovers, being the most barbaric of these groups, would have the tertiary abilities of running, animal handling, paddled, small craft, sound imitation, and snare building. So basically, you took your inspiration off of that right from that.
Right. It's actually a 3-part inspiration. The inspiration, well, that's the way I've always kind of looked at that. Then I read a book called Wooden Leg, an Indian who fought Custer. So it was the biography translated by a doctor who was talking to this guy about his life as a Cheyenne Indian. It's fascinating. And then I played in, it was one of the charity games that Carlos ran like at 4 a.m. It was me, Jason Zavoda, and Matt. And I made a barbarian based off of that sort of culture, culturally similar rover. And that was the seed that grew into the tribe. And
nice. Practicing what, or you preaching what you practiced or whatever.
Right.
Very cool. Now, that's good to hear, man. So,
and he was a cameo in their last game.
And sometimes, with Tim, especially, being in and out, every 9 months, maybe that group plays. Every year or two. Yeah. So it's all good. Definitely.
I got to be more regular.
Yeah. So give me one quickie on City State, because I know Dale's on. Something in City State that you developed up. It could be a group. It could be a person. It could be.
I'm just going to say in general, with the City State, especially the original, there are so many things you can generate in every single shop in the city. There's a rumor.
Yep.
Almost all of them have a rumor, and it's a rumor about something's going on right now, or it's something that happened, or each one of those is some sort of seed for an adventure or some sort of activity. I mean, it's so full of them. You can't run out of them. I mean, you may not want to play them. Maybe the rumor is false, but at least it gives you something. So I've used those a number of times, or at least ideas generated from them.
They help with sandboxing too.
Oh yeah. Because you can't know everything all the time.
That's right.
And maybe Anna does, but
no.
Right, since I have a hard cutoff at 8:25 here, since we started at 6:30. Because I made a deal with my wife. So why don't we're gonna yes. So why don't we do a closing talk on this? And I want to bring up. I'm going to sneak peek something for Wednesday night. I haven't even looked at it myself yet. So Anna, what do you want to say on this topic that we were discussing?
Well, this is so cool because this is world building as its best. Because when you can interact general world building with stuff that you can do for your upcoming adventure, so to speak, and you can think locally, or you can think of one block in a city, or invent one little tiny village and do there, or you can have the fate of the whole continent in your hands if you want to. Not necessarily destroy it all like with Thurston taking everything and destroying it, but you can tweak it in one direction. I mean, you can tweak the politics of a country, or you can unseat a dynasty and install another one, or something like that. You can play with outcomes of political or other events, so to speak, that you can have fun with, and you can invent interesting villains and stuff to fill the gaps. So what I try to do is to fill in the gaps that the lore leaves, so to speak, because the lore in Greyhawk is usually wide open for additional stuff to fill in the gaps, and the gaps are usually enormous, so you can fit an army or two or something in between. So that's how I try to go about it, and then develop from the lore, and then say that, well, certain things is like when you make omelette, you have to crack some eggs, and so a little bit of screwing things up here and there makes it fun, so to speak, but not too much. I want it to be rooted in the Greyhawk we love, but I want it to be additional stuff added to it.
No, absolutely. Agree 100%. And going back to the beginning on the discussion is, don't worry about screwing it up.
Yeah.
It's not going to screw up the
You
great.
can start over again if you want to later with another group or whatever. Meaning there's I heard some great DMs, they start at 576 every campaign. That's an interesting approach. Meaning each party gets a fresh timeline to work with. That's another approach. So there's many different ways of doing it.
Absolutely. Mike, thanks for hopping on too and giving us some examples. What would you like to say on that?
Anna summed it up nicely.
Thank you. Yeah.
That's all.
I cannot find something and it's driving me crazy.
Uh-oh.
Hold on 1 second. Downloads.
Have you lost the PDF?
I've lost the PDF. So, Tim, I know you just hopped on, but your thoughts on where this discussion?
I'm using small snippets for the city state to grow and build on it.
Yep.
So, and I will say that next time you're going to find a little bit more about the state of the Overlord's Navy.
Oh, cool. It's probably really shitty, isn't it? And I got, of course it is. How did I know that?
That last commander was getting his butt kicked all the time.
It's because, there's incompetence everywhere, and that's just stuff that you gotta deal with.
It might be wise to expect the time pressure factor next game.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm all in on that. My character, has a limited amount of patience, as you know, and that could go a little, off the end there.
She's nice until it's time
to not be nice. Roadhouse. Okay.
Yeah. Well, I was thinking too, when you're trying to build, if you have one little idea and you're building in a city, don't worry about having everything mapped out exactly. Have a general circle. It can be rough or oval or square, and you mark out quarters, types of places where different groups kind of, the richer area, the noble area, the official area, the thieves area, the merchants area, industry or whatever it was, port area. And then you can kind of assign a shop here or there, and you can, have a general tendencies in those areas quickly marked out in your mind. So you can kind of start building, and then you don't need to worry about every little street, and just do little pinpoint locations here and there as things happen. Different groups develop. You might have to make up groups on the fly, which can be fun and exciting.
I guarantee you that we've all done that. We've all made up a group, adventuring group, or a group of baddies, a group of thugs.
One of the most fun adventuring we ever did was in Highport with.
Yeah. Oh yeah. One-on-one.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah,
that was fun.
We should, you and I, just sit down and stream and just talk about the stories, because they're freaking hysterical. They are.
One-on-one adventuring is fun. I used to do a lot of that.
Mike,
you get so much done.
Yeah. Remember Hib?
Yeah.
Right. We haven't
Poor guy.
We haven't talked about Hib in like 25, 30 years. We should do that. We should just have we're going to talk about the Highport campaign.
Hib is one of the most loyal people I have.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to find that folder. I have it. Yeah. All right. So 3 streams next week, hopefully, unless I have a setback. Cather's out tomorrow. Thank God. So Wednesday. What is this all about? World of GREYHAWK Gazetteers. I don't know. So first thing, though, I want to note that
sounds like a lot of homework.
Well, no, the postcards are now on a file too on Cannibal. Someone on the Cannibal site for me, Troy or someone else. It is all the locations in GREYHAWK are there. I can do this real quick. I think we got time. It's 8:14. Cannibal Publishing. Go to resources. It's on this page with. Here we go. I got it. So you can download this now on the site. I'm trying to keep better notes where I'm running campaigns. I've heard of a tendency to focus. Yeah, it can happen, man. Toxic can that can definitely happen, which is cool. All right, so there's that. The postcards are up, so you can download them and take them, utilize them. But this is going to be released probably Tuesday or Wednesday next week. The World of Greyhawk Gazetteer Revisited. I have an advanced copy. I'm going to sneak peek it for like the next 30 seconds, and then we're going to go over this Wednesday with all the people who helped write it and discuss it. So for the community, by the community, going on.
Is this kind of like Return?
I haven't even looked into it, so I don't think so. But World of Greyhawk Gazetteer Revised.
In a way, it is. It's a companion stuff to DM's guild to the DMG's Greyhawk. So it's to explain, go way deeper and explain
as
the
far as
world.
I'm going to go.
So, yep.
All right, so there you go. Credits, forward, introductions. As far as I'm going to go tonight, but just note, this is it. It is going to be available on DM's Guild very shortly, maybe the night before the show, and see what they've come up with. I haven't looked into it. I haven't had time. So that will be on Wednesday. Obviously, no stream on Thursday because of Thanksgiving. My next RPG though will be, and I just am finalizing it, and I'm not even sure what group yet, but we're going to do a special group Saturday morning, 10 to 2. All right, so we'll have a game Saturday morning, 10 to 2, and then we'll have Gabbin next Sunday. The Thursday after, December 5th, is our partner anniversary on Twitch. That's a 3-year Twitch partner anniversary. All right, called The Cleansing. And the new building that Bill gave me for this is going to be awesome. You'll be like shocked how cool the size of this thing is. He's shown it on a lot of his Instagram posts. More Ed. Ed is playing. Coco is playing. Chuck is on and off combo. So I'm not sure, but any of my guys that show up will have a character. So that's 6 right now. And then I may add 1 or 2 others. And it's going to be we're going to have giveaways from Frog God and Troller Games to celebrate the partner anniversary stream. And it's a big thing now because in Twitch you set it, and everyone who comes on will know what's going on. It's an event, so it's really cool. I don't think I'm going to be on the front page of this month in December, but that's okay. So that's a week from Thanksgiving. Okay, sounds like a plan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Coco hype. All right, look at that, 8:18. Oh my gosh, I may get out a couple minutes early here. So any final thoughts from any of the esteemed panel here as we're going to do the giveaway? Fun time, right? Hopefully you guys got something out of that. Pick something that interests you. You read about it, just develop it. There's no wrong way to go, you know. You pick something, for example, you pick the Karstein, the Paladin in the Hills, and you're running it, and you found this information about her from the ashes. You run it, and then someone from Living Greyhawk goes, "Well, we killed her off in Living Greyhawk." I don't care, right? That's what you got to do.
That's part of the multiverse.
That's it, exactly. Just giving that as an example of the drastic nature of. Yeah, what could or could not happen. All right, last call. Exclamation point drawing. I'm going to close it out and see who wins tonight. Classic D&D reprint giveaway tonight. Last couple of times I've gotten away with gift certificates because we've had someone from UK win. So it's a lot easier for GCs, but I can mail this out tomorrow. So here we go. The winner tonight. Drosarius. There you go, man. Congrats.
Awesome.
As long as you're on the claim. Let me make sure Drosarius is still on. He's in chat. He's in the chat log, so that's good enough for me. So I always allow lurking there. So, wish me luck tomorrow morning.
Mm-hmm.
I get the catheter out, and then we go from there in the next step of healing. It's been less than a week, so things are moving along. I'm looking forward to getting it out because it's annoying. Thank you, but I'll be back Wednesday night for that Legends and Lore. We'll have a lot of guests. there are a lot scheduled of people who were part of that creativity on it. We'll get their thoughts on what they were doing, and then we'll keep on going there. That'll be the night. I know a lot of people go out the night before Thanksgiving. That's cool, no problems. But you know, no stream on Thanksgiving, obviously, family stuff. So, Anna, Mike, Tim, thank you.
Thank you.
We're gonna raid into Marquis again, because Marquis, you know, Pip and Mark are great people, and there's no way Darling's on yet this early. So yeah, thank you. Happy holidays. We'll see you all Wednesday night. Enjoy. I'll keep. If you know, you can, if you want to see how I'm doing in Discord or wherever, just ask. I'll let you know. You know, I'm hoping for a clean pull, and we move on starting tomorrow morning, phase 2. See you soon. I almost hit the wrong button. Alrighty.
Of course.
Almost. Look at that. With 4 minutes to spare, actually. My hard stop was 8:25 there.
What's the going on after?
Eagles game tonight. Sunday night game. My wife wants to watch it tonight. Stay up late, but you know, and I'm like, okay, gotcha. So the least I could do is, you know, cut this short because she's, you know, does so much for me, right? Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you gotta make the hard
Good
choice.
one. Yep. Eat some snacks and
Shouldn't be that hard.
Shouldn't be that hard. You're absolutely correct, but you know.
Yeah.
Me, I got to type in Marquis. It's not just popping up. Give me a second, everyone. There we go. A lot of you may have already followed them last time when we raided into them. I think it was last week. So looks like we're going in there with a nice 70. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you Wednesday. Thank you. Let's make sure everything went fine.
Looks like we're connected.
Yep.
Rating 73.